Whatever may or may not happen on Capitol Hill, it won't come in time to stop what everyone expects to be a massive surge of migrants after Title 42 expires. The city of El Paso, Texas, right on the border, already has thousands of migrants camping on the streets, stuck in limbo as they seek asylum. Joining me now is El Paso's Mayor Oscar Leeser. Mayor Leeser, thanks so much for being here with us today. You've already declared a state of emergency there. We've seen the images of migrants lining the streets of El Paso, sleeping, living, hoping to apply for asylum. How many more do you expect to try and enter El Paso on Thursday?
Well, the numbers we see today on the streets is about 2,500 in front of Sacred Heart Church, and then probably another 800 or 900 at the Opportunity Center. And when I went over and traveled into Mexico last week, we were able to confirm roughly that there's about 10,000 to 12,000 people at the border waiting for Title 42 to expire, and another 3,500 coming right behind there. So, and you know, they're all under the assumption that once Title 42 does expire, they'll all be allowed to come into the United States and get political asylum.
Why is that? Because the smugglers are telling them that, and to try and entice them? I mean, how are they? We had the Homeland, Secretary Mayorkas on the border last week on Friday saying the border is not open. Why is that message not penetrating?
Well, the message has been being given to the asylum seekers in Mexico, but they paid to come in, and they were under the assumption, under the false assumption, that once Title 42 has been lifted, they would be in here and get political asylum, which is not reality. So it's one of the things that we really are working with and trying to make sure they know that they still have to follow the immigration process and still follow the laws of the United States. You
mentioned you were just across the border. You went to Ciudad Juarez?
Right, yeah, we're right here at Ciudad Juarez, and I was able to go over there, and I have a really good working relationship with the mayor and some of the staff over there. So we went to some of the shelters, and the shelters were empty, and that was something that was really interesting to us. The second largest shelter in Juarez had only 20 people in there, and when I asked why, the reason is that they want to be able to be at the border and not miss that opportunity to come into the U.S. prior to Title 42 expiring.
Right. Just to give people an example, of how desperate this is and how fluid this is, there was a rumor going around in Ciudad Juarez that a certain gate to El Paso was going to open up, and so everybody ran down there, only to find out, of course, that it wasn't open, and then they all went back. But basically, they're all milling around in Juarez and other Mexican border towns, waiting for Thursday when they all think somehow they're going to be able to come in.
And we still have a lot coming in now, and a lot have been continuing to come in. One of the things we continue to talk about, they're not coming to El Paso, they're coming to the United States. And that's one of the things that we continue to work and help them. And when you said we declared a state of emergency, that was to be able to open temporary sheltering, a shelter that is not for permanent housing, but so we can help them get to their destination. Once they get their A number, which is the legalization that come into the United States, then they're free to go, and we want to make sure we help them get to where they want to go and continue to get them off the street, because we don't want anybody getting exploited. We want to make sure that we treat people the way we want to be treated, and that's what we're working on, to make sure not only our asylum seekers but also the community of El Paso continues to be safe.
I understand that you've commissioned 2 empty schools that can be used as a place for some of these people to sleep. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 schools that have been closed for years. We were able to start setting them up, and they'll be open here within the next day or so, where we'll be able to shelter and do temporary sheltering. Like I said, we look to do where there'd be anywhere between 24 to 72 hours. We have 2 schools. We also have the convention center we can convert, and we also use hotels for the family units. It's important that we continue to protect the children and the families.
You have said that you are preparing for the unknown. How exactly do you do that?
Well, we'll still continue to prepare for the unknown. The unknown is how many people are going to come in on May 12th, how many people are going through the proper immigration process, how many people have sponsors in the United States. We don't know that. We don't know that number every day. And when we do get a large number of asylum seekers, we don't know how many have gone through the process and how many they actually have sponsors within the U.S. They have family members or somebody they want to unite with. So we don't get a manifesto telling us what's going going to come over. So it's really important that we prepare for the unknown and that we need to continue to prepare to protect, again, the asylum seekers and, again, the community of El Paso, Texas.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.